Woj, as they head into this offseason, how do the Spurs view their relationship with Kawhi?
It's fractured right now, Michelle, and that's obvious. He's been away from the team now for well over a month. Didn't rejoin the team late in the season or in the playoffs. One interesting thing, and I only contributed a very small amount to what's a remarkable piece of reporting by Ramona Shelburne and Michael Wright, but Kawhi Leonard had considered going to join the Spurs in the playoffs against the Warriors in the aftermath of Greg Popovich's wife's passing, to go sit on the bench and show support for him. But when Pop didn't coach in the series and an assistant coach did, Leonard stayed away and remained in New York, where he's been here in New Jersey and in New York City, working out and living for the past several weeks, a couple months.
Woj, thank you as always. For Spurs fans, for NBA fans, this has been a mystery all season long. And now the offseason officially here in San Antonio. How do y'all see this playing out?
Not positive if you're a Spurs fan, Bees. And the goal is to have Kawhi Leonard, one of the top players in the league, return to your squad. Anytime you're hearing a misdiagnosis of an injury, that's troubling. There's a muscle issue versus a tendon issue, which means there's two different levels of rehab. Kawhi's team asked the Spurs this offseason to allow him to get a second opinion. They did not allow him to get that second opinion. Then he decided he was going to rehab the way they asked him to. That led to him only playing 9 games. So if the team, by no malicious, it clearly wasn't done on purpose, in your estimation, you feel they misdiagnosed your injury, and you're a professional athlete, there's a level of trust that's created in this relationship that I don't think that's going to be repaired.
You see the bottom of our screen right now? That's a big factor in all of this. There's an enormous amount of money that is still involved in the potential of him staying in San Antonio long term. This whole thing has been so curious because he always seemed like the perfect heir to Tim Duncan based upon his generally unassuming personality. But I don't care who you are. $219 million will make a lot of people assess their relationships in their lives very closely and try and make them better. So I don't know that it is 100% certain that, look, you know Popovich 10 times better than I do. If they want to keep him there, I don't think it is inconceivable that these two guys can't get together and work it out. Brady and Belichick are going to have to work together after all the stuff that's happened. There's no reason those two guys can't do it if they both want to. And again, Kawhi has 219 million reasons to want to.
That's what makes this whole thing interesting. Because without the 219 looming, this seems like a no-brainer. Like, oh, it's a broken relationship. You can't fix it. The 219 is a big deal. And now you're hearing like little bits and pieces come out. His sister has said there's no ill feeling. Like they try to fix. It's very odd, and we're just waiting for the extension.
What did you read into that, just very quickly? Woj saying that he considered coming and sitting on the bench if Pop was there.
I mean, that's great to hear because, look, Boogie Cousins isn't with his team, so I don't want to pile on Kawhi only. But it was very much lingering. Like, as you're watching the playoffs, you're thinking, especially when they were at home, like, why isn't he on the bench? Why isn't he supporting his team? He is still technically a Spur for now, and so it felt weird that he wasn't there. It was good to actually hear that he had meant to be and didn't work out that way.
Let me give you a different way to look at it, Greeny. Today's athlete makes so much money that they can go to a new team and sign for 1 year. You've seen LeBron do it, you've seen KD do it, and then he can get his bird rights or his Supermax deal when he goes to his new squad.
But what if he's worried that his injury is going to wind up being a factor going forward? He can get $219 million without playing another game if both sides decide they want to do that. He goes and plays someplace else for a year. I don't know exactly. When you heard Ramona explaining this stuff, and I'm not sophisticated enough medically to understand the long-term ramifications of that, but what if there is really some concern? You just mentioned Isaiah Thomas. He'll never see the money he would have signed for before. If they put that money on the table right now, how do you turn it down?
So you used a couple of examples are different. The Brady and Belichick, though they're similar in news and name, that has nothing to do with like misdiagnosing an injury. Isaiah Thomas came back during the season when he was hampered. Kawhi did not do that. So therefore, he's going to make sure he's 100% able to play before he returns. And if he's able to do that, he could easily bet on himself one season and then get a Supermax elsewhere.
Sometimes I wish I could fast forward time, but I can't.